City and cemetery is very similar. I'm not going to make this intro long. I'm going to show you in this video how they are connected. City and cemetery. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, y'all start drinking y'all teas. Start drinking y'all teas. Y'all need to detox. Detox. Y'all know what's going on out there. Y'all know what's going on. Detox. City and cemetery. I'm going to go over city and cemetery. I told y'all a while ago in my videos on TikTok that city and cemetery go hand in hand, and I'm going to show you how they go hand in hand. Now, KEI is the root word of city and cemetery. A root word is basically the fundamental unit meaning of a word. So that word, KEI, is connected to city, cemetery, civic, civil, civilian, civilization, and civilized. I'm going to go over all of that. But the main thing I want y'all to focus on is cemetery and city. Yes, the city and the cemetery. Oh, look how similar they look. They look very similar, huh? The dead and the living. The Walking Dead, yes, and the living. Understand what is being done. But okay, let's get to it. Proto Indo European root meaning to lie. Now I'm gonna go over three different types of lies. It's to lie down, to lie, to tell a story, um, and another lie. We're gonna go over those. Also forming words for bed, couch, and with a secondary sense of beloved and dear. So, beloved is to please, be pleased with, and dear is precious, valuable. Understand what you are. First of all, you have to understand what you are and what you're made of. I can't tell you that your bones are made of crystals. You'll have to go Google it and look it up yourself. But yes, baby, your bones are made of crystals. They're made of crystals. Now, if you understand what crystals are, I'm going to go a little bit into that. If you know about hoodoo voodoo, when they take a bag of bones and they shake them up and they throw them out and they do their little magic and spells and all of that, they're using bones. Bones are made of crystals. Crystals holds energy. Understand what is being done. But yes, cemetery holds the dead bones, which are crystals. The city is walking, the walking dead, the sleep. And bones is crystals. Like y'all have to understand what these people are doing. I can't get into who these people are, but these people are doing some sorcery. Basically, that's all this is going on is sorcery. It might form all part of cemetery, city, civic, civil, civilian, civilization, and civilized. Now, y'all can go over all these other words, but I'm going to just go over these. These are the ones I want y'all to see how they are connected because if you are in a city, baby, and you are considered a civilian or you are a citizen, I'm gonna go over it. So it's connected to the cemetery. That's all I'm gonna say. So basically, KEI, the root word of cemetery, city, civic, civil, civilian, civilization, civilized is to lie, lie asleep. Put two and two together. A cradle, a family, which is a member of a household, which is domestic servants. So when you say family, you're connecting yourself to domestic servants. When I talk about my family, I say my kin or my blood. My kin or my blood, that's what I say. But yes, also members of a household. And then wife as well. You consider yourself as a wife, you consider yourself as a domestic servant. All right, let's get to it. City. All right, let's go over city. City is from the early 1200s. This is when they formed the word city. Old French site, town, and city. Uh, it originally came from citizenship. Condition or rights of a citizen membership in the community. Later, community of citizens, state, commonwealth. Uh, it is also considered as a townsman, the pi root of KEI, to lie, also forming words bed and couch and beloved and dear. We already went over that in the other slide. A large and important town, uh, a walled town, a walled town. Now I want y'all to really understand why they want everything walled in and to keep you in everybody, a whole bunch of people in one city and town. Like, I want y'all to really think about that. If you understand the power lines and all the things that's in every city and how they have all these big old things with panels all around them, in a lot of cities, it's for a reason. The beloved and dear, precious. I told y'all what beloved and dear is, what's inside the cities and what you're made of. Your bones and your crystals. Your bones are made of crystals. Precious, value. Understand what is done. That's why it's walled. The city is a walled town. We're going to go deeper into the town and all of that as well. Um, you can go and look up borough and herbs. Here go herbs. Herbs is connected to urban, characteristic of a city life pertaining to cities or towns. Um, you can go over all of this if you want to. I want to go over one thing because when you think of urban, you think of like urban like us, which they have it on here, which is African American, but we're not African American, and I'm not gonna go over that. That's in a whole nother video. But yes, urban, slums, clearance, like the projects, how they want to call the projects, and acquired a suggestion of African Americans. So basically, all the poverty towns or urban areas or like the slums. So understand what is going on. And that's like in every major city. Every major city, especially in Houston, have a lot of hoods and projects, whatever you want to call it, low income areas, poverty and all of that. It's deeper than what you think it is. It really is. But that's basically city. City is the citizenship condition or rights of a citizen. Living in a city, you have to be a citizen because when you get an apartment, you get a house, you get anything, you have to have what? An ID. In order to have an ID, you have to be what? A citizen. Understand what is being done. So these are the synonyms of city. So I got these up here. I need y'all to pay attention to these as like burg. Pay attention to how that look. Borough, mega cities. Look at how that look. Like pay attention to how they have everything look that is connected to city because all of these are synonyms of city. Burg, borough, and mega city. Um City is an inhabited place or greater size population or importance than a town or village. The financial district of London. Understand what's going on. Understand what is going. If you know, you know. I can't go deeper into like what this is and who they hold and British and all of that type of stuff. It means something. Believe me, it does. But you'll have to go deeper into that. If I go deeper into that, this whole video will be like 3 hours long. But pause and read if you need to. But I want you to pay attention. This is considered a city, a burg, borough. You got Manhattan, Bronx, Queens, Brooklyn, Staten Island, all of them connected in some type of way in the water. We go over water as well, and then the mega cities. All right, let's go over civil. Civil is connected to city and cemetery. I showed y'all in the first slide. Civilization, law which makes a criminal process civil. Law which makes a criminal process civil. Civilized condition state of being reclaimed from the rudeness of savage life. Hold on to savage. Hold on to that word right there. Hold on to savage because we're going to go over savage as well. Civilized condition state of being reclaimed from the rudeness, reclaimed from the rudeness of savage life. They took you away from your natural state. When they civilized you and made you become a civilian, they took you from your natural state. Taking you from your natural state does what? Does what? The living dead and the dead. I'm telling you, when you become a civilian or civilized in their law, in their law, you're considered as dead. Understand what's going on. Opposite to barbarity. I'm gonna go over barbarian as well. So keep in mind savage and barbarity. All right. Civilized plus action is civilization. Basically you can pause and read if you need to read more into it. Um the sense of a particular human society in a civilized condition considered as a whole over time. If you know me, you know what time is. Time is what? A spell. Considered as a whole over a spell. Understand what is going on. So civilization and civil is connected to city and cemetery. I showed you it's connected to civil and cemetery. All right, let's go over civil. Relating to civil law, law, overstand the law. Go look up what law is. If you want to go deeper into law, go look up law and understand why they are controlling and doing everything that they're doing. Law is basically the biggest spell that they put on us, the biggest spell. Relating to civil law or life, pertaining to the internal affairs of a state. State. You look up that word as well. I'm giving y'all some homework. Go look up law and state. Go look up all of these other words on here. Go deeper into the meaning of what civil means, civilization. But I'm telling you what it really means. To reclaim from the rudeness of savage life. Now, I told you I keep in mind savage. I'm going to go over savage. I'm going to go over savage. Civil relating to civil law. All of this is connected to the law. All of it. The law is the spell. Relating to a society, pertaining to public life, relating to civic order, befitting a citizen. Y'all can go over all this other highlighted stuff if you want to. I'm just going over the key things. Meaning not barbarous, civilized. So they don't want you to be barbarous. They want you to be civilized. Relating to the Commonwealth as a securely organized. They want you to be organized. They want everything in order. They don't want you in your natural state. Because if you was in your natural state, none of this would be happening. I'm telling you. If we were to go back to our savage lives, going back to nature, none of this will be going on. Civilize to bring out a barbarism, introduce order and civil organization among refine and alignment. Relating to a citizen, public life, citizen, townsman, city, Civilized. Become civilized. To bring out of barbarism. To bring out of barbarism. Introduce order. To introduce order. Understand what is going on. It's all right here. All right here. They civilized a lot of us. They did. All right, let's go over barbarian. Barbarian, they don't want you to be a barbarian. Period, point blank. No, that's why they civilized you. Because if you was a barbarian, baby, if you was really, truly who you are, none of this would be going on. A non-Roman or non-Greek. That's what it is. A non-Roman or non-Greek. Non-Roman or non-Greek person. Non-Christian. Person speaking a language different from one's own. This is barbarian. They considered us strange, foreign, and barbarous. Foreign, strange, and ignorant. Yes, this is all considered as a barbarian. All that are not Greek. And the crazy thing is, it's a lot of us that go to college and become what? They join those Greek clubs, sorority clubs. Understand what is being done. Tribes or nation which had no Greek or Roman accomplishments. Tribes. Tribes. Understand what is going on. They took us away from this and civilized us. They took us away from this and civilized us. And when you become civilized, you become what? I already said it. You should be putting two and two together. Born of another nation or culture. Barbarian. Of or pertaining to savages. Rude, uncivilized. Uncivilized. Savages. We finna go over savages. I just need y'all to see what barbarian is. Understand what is going on. Savage. Savage. Ferocious, wild, undomesticated, untamed. Understand what is going on. Now, y'all remember the movie Pocahontas, the cartoon movie Pocahontas? Y'all remember the cartoon movie Pocahontas? It was us. It was us. We were the so called savages and the wild. Wild. I say it all the time, we need to go back to the wilderness because they civilized us. Now it's a lot of us that's walk the walking dead. They don't know who they are. They took you from your natural state. They took you from who you are truly or what you truly are. You're ferocious, baby. You're wild, undomesticated, and untamed. But guess what they did? They civilized you, made you become a civilian, put you in order, took your natural state away from you. Wild, uncultivated, wild, savage, untamed, strange, pagan. Now I'm gonna go deeper into pagan because I'm noticing pagan is something that's not connected to the Christian or the all that type of stuff. But I'm gonna go deeper into that and figure out what pagan is. The wild woodland, the woods, the land. In Houston, Texas, we have a city called the Woodlands. And let me tell you, though, that city do not have a lot of us in that city. But they do have cities that's named Egypt. the streets that's named Egypt in the woodlands. I need y'all to understand what is being done. I do a lot of driving, so I pay attention to a lot of streets names and mounds and the they got like pyramids and all that type of stuff up over here in Houston. They do. Literally of the woods. Forest Grove. Savage. Now y'all know they have a person that's out that's an artist and she made songs talking about she's a savage, I'm a savage, and so on and so on. But guess what they depict her as? What y'all have to understand is they use celebrities, they use agents to tell us who we are, but they distract you. They distract you with how she's dressed, how she's dancing, how she's portraying herself. That's how they distract you. So you won't get the true message. You are a savage. You are. But not in the way that she's depicting it as. But you have to understand they're agents. But agents have messages. They do. Look up the word agent. Agent means message. But yes. So they considered us as uh wild, undomesticated, untamed, wild, savage, untamed, strange. This is a savage. That's why they civilized us because they couldn't control us. But now that we're civilized and they took our natural state from us and we are the walking dead, they can control us. Necromancy. Necromancy is doing spells over the dead. That is real. It don't matter if you alive or dead or living, the walking dead. They made you dead by making you a civilian. Now they can put spells over you. This is deep. This is deep. But let's look over this. Of persons, indomitable, valiant, also fierce, bold, cruel. Of a person's behavior, wild, barbarous, uncivilized, uncivilized. I'm telling you, it's all connected. All of it is connected. Reckless, ungovernable, ungovernable, reckless, overstanding what is going on. Pertaining to or characteristics of savage peoples living in the lowest condition of development, which is that's just what they say. But when we was living in the woods and being one with nature, it was not the lowest conditions of development. Development is cities, buildings, all of that. That's what they mean by lowest condition of development. Naked or clothed in foliage. Now, what y'all have to understand is they took us away. They took the bareness away from us to connect to the sun, the sun. So they took our bareness away from us and put clothes on us. That's why you look at all those slavery, so-called slavery pictures, and they have like long shirts on, long skirts, and long all that type of stuff. They put them on our people. We were bare with the sun. We didn't have all that on. They created that. They created that. We didn't have all those clothes on. We was bare with the sun. We was. Savage as a noun is a wild person, human being from an uncivilized region or a tribe or race of the lowest state of development. Uncivilized. Uncivilized. unfeeling, brutal, or cruel person. Go look up these words. Go look up cruel and go look what cruel mean. Go look up a lot of these other words that I'm not going over and connect the dots. But the main thing about the savages, we were wild. We were in the wild. We wasn't civilized. We were uncivilized. Uncivilized. We were living. We were living. Understand what is being done. All right, let's go over wild. Wild because a savage is considered as wild. Wild in the natural state, uncultivated, untamed, undomesticated. Woodlands, wild. Understand what is being done. They took you out of your natural state and civilized you. And when they civilize you, you become the walking dead. And when you become the walking dead, that's how they can create spells and put spells on you. That's real. That is, I'm telling y'all, there's a whole bunch of spell work going on. Self-willed, lacking resistance of persons, wild. You're self-willed, lacking resistance. Overstand what is being done. Unpeopled, without civilization. When you're in the wild, when you're wild, baby, you're alive, you're living. You're living. The meaning distracted with excitement or emotion, crazy. This is like when they say, "Oh, you wild," that type of stuff. That's what they mean by that. Exciting, excellent is another form of wild. That's a slang sense of wild. But yes, the main thing about wild is that's a savage. Savage is connected to the wild in the natural state, uncultivated, untamed, undomesticated, self willed, lacking resistance. So they didn't want you, none of that, because you had power. That's where you get your power from. Because you was in the wild, you were wild, you wasn't civilized. Understand what's going on? All right, so we went over city and I broke down city and how city is where the living is. The major cities, mega cities, and all of that, the boroughs. I showed you Manhattan and all of the cities that's connected, the living. Now let's go over the cemetery, which is city and cemetery is connected. They go hand in hand. Burial ground, place set aside for burial of the dead. And you wonder why you can't pick like where you want to be buried at, especially if you live in a city. Like they choose the cemetery for you to be buried in, a graveyard, a sleeping place, dormitory, to put to sleep, lie down, to lie. KEI is connected to city and cemetery. It's the same thing, to lie, bed, and couch. When you living in a city and you living in your house, right, which is something similar to these other things I'm gonna show you too that's connected to cemetery. When you lay in your bed, guess what you laying in? Because you're not connected to the wild, you're connected to the houses that they created for us to live in. They created, I'm telling y'all, we was living in nature. They took us away from our natural state and created the city and cemeteries. We were buried in the ground, not in a casket, but in the ground, connected to the trees. But when you put yourself in a casket and you bury yourself in the ground, you're not connected to anything. Understand what is being done. They gave us the city and the cemeteries, took us from our natural state, and civilized us. Okay, early Christian writers were the first to use it for a burial ground. Early Christian writers was the first to use it for burial ground. They created this, y'all. They created the city and the cemetery. We were savages and barbarians. We were one with nature. I need y'all to quickly understand that. Quickly. Though the Greek word also had been anciently used in reference to the sleep of death. Understand what is going on. Cemetery. It's connected to city. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. And I'm going to show you. Cemetery, a piece of land used for burying the dead. These are the synonyms of cemetery. Necropolis. Look at that. It looks something similar to Berg on the other one I showed you on city. Let me go back to it. Let me show y'all. Hold on. All right, here go Berg. Remember I just showed you Necropolis. Okay. A piece of land used for burying the dead. Now I'm going to get y'all on this one right here. Vault. Because the vault holds what? I'm going to give y'all like 10 seconds. Vault is vault is the synonym of cemetery. What does vault hold? Dead presidents. Understand what is being done. Crypt. This is the place where they laid the dead. Look like a room, doesn't it? Look like a room, doesn't it? Understand what is being done. I need y'all to quickly understand what is being done. But the vote, this one got me. When I put two and two together and know that they hold dead presidents up in the vault, and the vault is the same thing as a graveyard, a tomb, a grave. Understand what is being done. It's right there. I'm showing you what it is. Sleep is connected to cemetery. Cemetery. Sleep. State of quiescence of voluntary and conscious function, sleeplessness, inactivity. Cemetery. When I say I'm going to get my mama out of the cemetery, I mean that wholeheartedly because I know that they're still using those cemeteries to do spell work with the bones. A period of sleep, because if you know about energy what never dies, it transfers. A period of sleep. Just as the city holds what? The Walking Dead, the sleep people are amongst us. Like, seriously. The ones that don't know. Repose of death. Kill painlessly. Put to sleep forever. Cemetery. City and cemetery are similar. All of this is goes hands in hand. You could look at this. This is sleep deprivation, sleepwalker, The Walking Dead, so on and so on. But I just want to go over this because when you sleep in your house, just look at this. Your brain and a bad night's sleep, slower reaction time, weakened immune system, poor problem solving skills. A lot of us are not recharging correctly because sleep. They're putting you to sleep. Increased stress levels, poor balance and condition, forgetfulness. This is when they put you to sleep. Understand what is going on. City and cemetery. All right, I said I was gonna go over three different lies because it's connected to city and cemetery, civil, civilized, civilization, all of that. All of this is connected to all of those words. Um, you have rest horizontally, be in a recumbent position. That's lying down when you sleep in a bed. Be situated, have a specific position, remain, be at rest, lie down. To lie down, to lie in bed. Now here's the verb of lie. Speak falsely, tell an untruth for the purpose of misleading, deceive, belie, betray. An untruth, conscious, an intentional falsehood, false statement made with intent to deceive. Lie, falsehood, a lie. I'm telling y'all, they're telling you what it is. They have to. It's universal law for them to tell you what everything is connected to. We have to go back to the wilderness to be wild, untamed, uncivilized. Period, point blank. We have to go back to the wilderness. That is the only way. If not, they're going to continue to do necromancy. In order for them to do necromancy, you have to be civilized, a civilian, a citizen, because that is taking you from your natural state. City, cemetery go hand in hand. The living and the dead, the walking dead and the dead. It's the same thing. They're doing the same spell work because once you become civilized, you become the walking dead. And when you become the walking dead, they can still do spells over you because you are civilized, taking you from your natural state, from the wilderness, from being wild, savage, barbarian. Understand what is being done. I'm on here to show you how it's connected. KEI is the root word of all of those. City, cemetery, civil, civilization, civilized, civilian, all of those. This is how they're continuing to keep us in control by doing necromancy. Necromancy is real. They're using the dead and the living, the walking dead. Do your homework. Go over some of them words and study some of those words. Get deeper into the meaning of words because words are spells. Once they put words on you, that's how they can do the spell work. Because, like I said, once you become a civilian, you took yourself from your natural state, and now they can do spell work on you. They can make you do a 9 to 5. They can make you work. They can make you pay bills. They can make you do a lot of things. That's necromancy. You can do necromancing with the living, but you have to put a spell on them, which is to civilize them, to take them from their natural state, to mark them as it's right there, it's right in front of you. All you have to do is do the research. So until next time, like I say all the time, know that everything that you was told was a lie. We just went over lie, trickery. You have to do the research yourself. You have to go and study yourself. You have to go and look at the words yourself. Know that you are a savage. You are barbarous. You are, because you are connected to the wilderness, the wild, nature. They just took it from you and classified you as a civilian to take you out of your natural state, to live in cities. City and cemetery is the same. These houses are just as crypt, vaults. You locked in, you lock the doors, you lock vaults. Like I'm telling you, it's right there. It's right in front of you. All you have to do is just do your research. So understand what is being done. Love y'all. Peace.